Con Guy Show. We are your home for news, opinions, and interviews from the world of Comic-Cons and fandoms. Your ultimate insiders for all things Not only is it the Con Guy Show, but we are back in year 10 of the Con Guy Show, and so happy and excited about that. This is our 10th Comic-Con we're celebrating, but welcome to the Con Guy Show, where we bring you the world of Comic-Con, which is what we're talking about tonight, fan conventions and pop culture from the middle of Hollywood, California, and San Diego. Tonight, Mr. Mark Atkinson. And this week, we turn our focus to the biggest convention of them all, San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to bring you everything that we know about San Diego Comic-Con so far. And actually, there's a lot. There's a lot that's been announced so far, but tonight we're going to talk about. All right, let's introduce who we have tonight. We will start up here with the Cheeseman Factor. Cheeseman.
What's up, everybody? It's Cheeseman, one of the founding con guys, and do some of the social media and special interviews, and big Jaws fan, similar to Mark over there.
Oh, look at the Jaws.
Everyone's going to get the memo that we're all wearing Jaws stuff tonight. Just kidding.
Martha's Vineyard.
And Luke coming in a little bit hot.
Yeah, and I have his shirt in my background.
Yeah, Luke, I think you're too close to the speaker, or something's coming in hot right now. If you can just like adjust that just a little bit. Sorry about that. Can you go ahead and finish, Cheeseman?
I was just saying. I got this.
Oh, now you're gone.
All right, go on. I'll figure.
Okay, we'll come back.
I heard you. You're just quiet, but I heard you. All good.
All right, Katie.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, the sole con girl representation of the day. Well, I'm happy to be back. I cannot believe we are already having these conversations already. It seems like 2025 is flying by. And I'm excited. I am not wearing a Jaws shirt tonight. I did not get the memo. I'm wearing a Stray Kids shirt. So, because it was, for those of you who follow me on social media, I know I've been very obnoxious lately. I went to see Stray Kids this weekend, so I'm still in that post-concert hype. So,
can you tell us who'd you go see?
Stray Kids. They are a K-pop group.
Oh,
they played SoFi for 2 nights.
Yep.
Nice.
First, aside from BTS, they're the 3rd K-pop group to perform there, but the first 4th generation group. They sold out 2 nights, 90,000+ people.
Wow.
They also had have you guys been to SoFi?
Yeah.
They had the infinity ring that they were using for the show, and it was fantastic. I got tickets for $34 the day of. It was great.
Wow. And for those of you listening, I want everybody to bomb Katie's social media and let her know that you want her to do some shows on her current top fandom. K-pop.
We're working on it. The Con Girls is working on it. We just need to get the ducks in a row. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, and we have a special guest with us. First time on the Con Guy Show. He's been with me on our Tiki Freak show before, but I'll let him introduce himself from the sunny city of San Diego.
Yes. Hello, Mark Atkinson. Yes, you're right. This is the first time I've been on this podcast.
Right.
I've been on the Tiki podcast, and in tradition, I've got my little cup here. This is what I got last year at Comic-Con. It is a Tiki cup, AMC edition. We've got Godzilla, we've got King Kong, and of course the infamous shark. So
where did you get that? Wait.
I have that one too.
Yeah,
you have the same one. Can you hold that back up, Mark?
Yeah, sure. It's an exclusive at Comic-Con last year, 2024.
Oh, wait, that was up at the Comic-Con, the actual Comic-Con booth, right? That would look like a movie theater.
I believe so. Yeah, and it was AMC, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. AMC. Yeah. Cheeseman, I didn't know you had that one.
Yeah, I have a ton of mugs I haven't been able to display because I need a place to put them.
I understand that.
That's the problem with these Tiki mugs. Yeah.
Well,
not in general, just collecting in general. I mean,
I'm going to do this right here in front of all of America, all dozen of you people. Mark, this is Katie. Katie, this is Mark. They have never met each other. I don't think you guys have met each other.
It's possible we crossed paths, but
probably.
You know,
yeah.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And Jonathan Wilkinson, yeah, he says, I'm not going to bomb anything, Jim. I don't want to end up on a. Oh, well, how about we just don't even say those words? I don't want the FBI tuning in tonight.
Ooh, don't want that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am so glad to be back. By the way, we are heading into con season in full swing. It's San Diego Comic-Con is the big one for us. We did WonderCon just a couple weeks back, and that was a lot of fun. Mark, you were there for WonderCon, right?
I was. What do you mean? Yeah, we hung out.
That's right.
This is true. Business. We hung out till like 2 a.m. in the lobby, didn't we?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Why am I forgetting that? Oh, it's because of what we were.
I mean, I think I know why, but
because of what we were doing in the lobby till 2 a.m. Well,
LobbyCon. We were closing down LobbyCon. Yeah,
that was so much fun. It was so much fun. Anyways, so Katie, I just want to, and by the way, we're not going to give any details, but Katie's super excited. She is plumb in a cool career right in the smack in the middle of the con fandom, and I couldn't be happier for her. She's always in the middle of everything. And Katie, we are happy for you. I just wanted to tell you, yes, it's awesome. But as we do here in the Con Guy Show, we never talk about our companies because we do not speak on behalf of our companies. We speak on behalf of ourselves. If we spoke on behalf of our companies, I'd be sued into oblivion. So let's just not do that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into. Here's our. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con. Comes up July 19th through the 23rd. Can someone check me on that date? I'm doing it off the top of my head here.
So hold on. Yes. So sorry. Hold on. I have my screen.
To the 23rd. I know those dates.
It's 23rd through 27th.
Okay.
You count preview night.
Boy, I was off.
You were way off.
Well, I think you're thinking June 19th to the 23rd.
What is that? Oh,
what do you mean? That's going to be Jaws.
Katie, I got to tell you this. There's a reason these two knuckleheads have their Jaws shirts on tonight. Where are we going, boys?
Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, boys. I think he's coming back for his noon feeding.
Yes. Yeah, we are heading out to Martha's Vineyard to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the summer blockbuster of all summer blockbusters, Jaws. It is safe to go back in the water, maybe. That's so cool.
Looking forward to it. I just booked my ticket yesterday, so
yes,
it's still fresh.
Yes, it says.
Okay, wait. I have a question for you guys. It's about Jaws, because why not, right? And the chat, feel free to chime in. When you first saw Jaws, were you scared to go to the beach for a while?
Yes.
I'm still afraid.
Yeah, ask Luke if he's recovered.
I'm still afraid. Like, I won't go really like over waist deep in the ocean, like especially when it's like murky and like a Pacific or Atlantic Ocean. Like, I'll do like tropic waters more comfortably, but I still don't like part of the reason I don't surf as much as I should is because of it's just weird to think that there's giant fish and sharks swimming around you, and that phobia is still there, even / obsession at the same time. It's kind of like Batman was afraid of bats. Depending on which Batman you're watching, he had a fear and obsession, kind of according to, I think it was the Christian Bale one. So that's kind of my relationship with sharks.
That's beautiful, man. That's exactly how I would describe my love-hate thing. I'm afraid of sharks, but I love them. You know? Yeah. But that's a great Batman analogy. I like that.
I would rather not go in the ocean than to give up Shark Week or being a Jaws fan. So that's the sacrifice. I won't stop doing the stuff that's giving me the phobia because I enjoy the phobia causer of the shark stuff just too much. So I will continue Shark Week and watching Jaws as much as I want.
Well, to put us all at ease, right now there is a long distance swimmer who is circumnavigating the island of Martha's Vineyard in the run up to the 50th anniversary in swimming. He's not driving a boat. He is swimming around Martha's Vineyard.
That's bold. That's bold. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I went to San Diego recently. I went to Oceanside with my family, and we went to the Surf Museum in San Diego, and they had an entire exhibit about they had I sent Jim some pictures. Like, obviously there's the stuff they mentioned, the Beach Boys, like a whole bunch of stuff. So it talked about the actual history of like the popularity of surfing due to movies and stuff like that, and then of course went into sharks and had Bethany Hamilton, is that her name? Why can't I think of her name right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Who had her arm bitten off?
They had her
yeah.
board at the museum.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So that's kind of cool if you guys are in the San Diego area. They did have that display about a month ago. But also, I don't know if it's going around yet. I can check and look it up. But they are doing a Jaws exhibit at the Academy Museum.
In
Yep.
September.
So,
Yep.
If you guys are into Jaws and you're in the Los Angeles area, or will be in the Los Angeles Museum, Los Angeles area, check it out. I did see the actual Jaws replica that was made by Greg Nicotero earlier last year, but they're doing a whole exhibit about it.
Mr. Greg Nicotero, who we've had on the show here with us, right,
yes.
Katie?
Yes. It opens.
It's in September
14th.
Yep.
And goes for almost a year. So they will have that exhibition going on the 4th level of the Academy Museum, which I went to for the first time last year. It's really fun if you love movies in general, but since it's going into the 50th, definitely check that out if you're a fan of that. So.
Awesome. And Mark, I don't know if you saw, or maybe I did send it, the official National Geographic teamed up with Steven Spielberg for the official 50th anniversary documentary is coming out.
Yes,
on Hulu.
Yes, I did see that. It's weird because like a lot of people know that I love Jaws, so I almost on a daily basis I get multiple memes and announcements leading up to the 50th, and it's been that way for like almost a month now, maybe 2. It's just we're excited about this. Yes,
it is. Yes, it is. And although we can't make official announcements on times and dates and all that stuff, we have a little tiny bit of a hint coming up here in just a little bit about maybe Jaws information making a showing at the convention. So we'll talk about that, but not in any great detail.
Okay.
Because, Mark, I haven't talked to you about that ahead of time. There are certain restrictions on these panels and stuff. We just really can't talk about them in detail, but we can mention them and get people's whet their appetite, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I was going to open my big mouth, but
no, it's fine. We'll open it, but no date, no specific dates or really the guest yet.
Okay. Is that
But we'll
true
talk about it
on
in a
social media too?
Say that, yeah.
Oh.
Have you I mean, everyone else is already posting about it, so we're just trying to follow as the con guy, we try to follow the rules. So.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get booted from the good graces of San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Because I think last year I may have been booted from their good graces for a little bit, but I think we're back in their good graces now. So I want to stay there. I'm going to stay.
Okay.
There.
Yes. I have a friend in the similar shoes. Yes.
Yes. But first up, we are talking about San Diego Comic-Con. And by the way, we can talk about whatever we want to as we go through tonight, because it's all about pop culture through the lens of Comic-Cons. And we don't have all the information, but here we are just a little over 6 weeks out, almost 7 weeks. And a lot of information has been shared. Probably the most information shared is about like offsites and things that are starting to happen and sort of offsites. But we have some a few of them have already sold out, which is ridiculous. But you know, it is what it is. Wow. So we're going to first talk about the most important thing: badges. Katie.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you, hey, Katie, how can I get a badge to this year's San Diego Comic-Con? You would say
that's unfortunate. You don't have it already.
That's true.
Yeah, they sell out very quickly.
Yep.
But you can, I believe, still sign up for,
volunteer
information or for next year and like get on. You can always register for a ComicCon ID on the ComicCon website, which is comic-con.org, which, by the way, they revamped it this year. It looks great. It's a much needed update, I think, because it's been pretty much the same for the last 10 years. So it's a little cleaner now. But yeah, so you can always go, if you go to the comiccon.org website, and you click on ComicCon, there should be a thing that lets you make a login and get a member ID, I believe. And you can sign up for updates and things like that. Usually it happens after the convention the year prior. Yeah. This year was earlier though, it seemed like, because it was last year, wasn't it? It wasn't in October or November.
Yeah.
It was early.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on, I mean, obviously we will update you guys here as often as we can on our socials, but if you sign up for their list, there's lots of resources to tell you when it's happening. It's easier if you are a returning guest, unfortunately, because they do like separate registrations. They do a returning registration for people who have gone the year before, and then they do an open registration for everybody else. Just know that typically it's over 1 million people in the queue for 100,000 passes, give or take.
Yeah.
So it's tricky, but if you are interested in going to Comic-Con and you're also curious more about what it's about, all of our old podcasts are available on our YouTube channel and on Spotify. And are they on Apple too?
Yep, Apple.
So wherever you listen to your podcasts or YouTube,
just about everywhere you listen to podcasts, they're there.
Yeah, you can catch our old podcasts. Just type in Comic-Con or Con Guy, and you will have all the information you need. But unfortunately, it is too late. The only hope there is sometimes big companies make sure they're trustworthy, will do a raffle or will do a giveaway, but they're very few and far between, and you have to be very careful to make sure that they are legit. Yep. I do believe the ComicCon Museum does things occasionally.
They have it going on right now. It's an auction, right? To get badges, as well as Disney Plus / Hulu has a big giveaway with including badges and experiences on the floor at the Disney and Marvel experiences on the floor. So they have a lot going on as well. Just check those out.
And as far as what's going, they don't announce the schedule until 2 weeks prior to the convention. We do know a few things about who's not going to be there. They make announcements.
We'll talk about that shortly.
Stay tuned. We'll talk more about that because there's some big ones this year that we need to talk about.
All right. Let me say hello to Lily. Lily, so good to see you. Lily.
Hello.
I'm going to let you pay me back the beer that you owe me this year at Comic-Con. But anyways, Lily says that, and Lily lives down there real close to you, Mark. The trolleys are getting the wraps already, which is exciting. Yeah. And Lily, I know that I've been following you on social media. You went over to the convention center. Was it last weekend or the weekend before, and took a lot of pictures inside, outside, and says, just a few weeks away. So Lily, any pictures you want to send our way, we would love to post them. Last question, Lily, are you volunteering this year? I know that you volunteered last year. If you're volunteering this year, let us know, because I think you can still sign up to be a volunteer at the convention, and that's how you can get a badge. We definitely are on for that beer. All right. So first down, badges, SOL, but not really. There's a couple ways to get it, but like for next year, by the way, the badge sale usually happens very, very, very soon after the WonderCon badge sale.
If you go to the new Comic-Con website, you click the bar, you go to comiccon.org, you click on Comic-Con if it's not already on it, and then it'll have a thing that says like how to attend, like plan your visit. And so you click plan your, nope, that's not the right thing. Sorry, don't. So you go to Comic-Con, there's going to be a thing that says like how to attend when you go to that page. When you go to that page, there's the first thing it'll say is how to attend, and then it'll say plan your visit. And if you keep scrolling, it'll talk about getting your badge, and it gives you a link to the member ID portal to register in a portal for future years. So it's all very easy to understand this time. And then it'll give you step 1, step 2, and all that information, where to buy it as a returning, where to buy it someone new, first time attendees. It also has a tab for children, industry, and volunteering. So they have daily volunteers, but it is closed, unfortunately, for the year.
Oh, so it's already closed. Okay. Lily says that she is volunteering, and she's volunteering at the ComicCon Museum too. That's very cool. And I actually I've never been. Have you been to the museum, Mark?
I have. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have a year-long exhibition on Doctor Who right now, right?
Oh, I don't know. Possibly. I'm not a Who head, so
Who head?
I probably went about 2 years ago is when I went.
I want to get over there. Like, there's a couple things I want to do on my way down to Comic-Con this year. I want to head by the museum. And on a side note, Mark, have you been to the Royal Hawaiian up in Laguna Beach yet? The restaurant tiki bar?
I have been there, my friend. Yes. Great time. You got to go. I know this is not this podcast, but it's a little bit of a crossover. You got to go to Lost Inferno.
Okay. That's in San Clemente, right?
Yes, the Goonies themed. And Goonies there's a big crossover with Goonies and Comic-Con, so
You mean like isn't this an anniversary year for the Goonies?
Did it come
Yeah,
out in
they-
85?
Were they 85?
I think so. Hold on.
Really?
Oh,
Oh.
Cheeseman. You know, okay, anyways.
1985. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
this is the
Okay.
40th
Thirty
anniversary of Goonies,
Oh, wow.
40th anniversary
the
of Back to
Future.
the Future, 50th anniversary of Jaws. This is a big fandom year, guys.
God damn, dude. I love it. The 80s.
All right.
Very big on Spielberg.
Oh, it's yeah.
yeah.
All right, here we go. We do have to talk. Okay, so if you do have your badges and you are coming down, the next big hurdle is wait. I was there for Lily said she was there for the premiere of the Doctor Who exhibition. That's very cool. That's
Cool.
awesome. I want to go see it. So hotels,
Mm.
accommodations, that is the big one. So Mark, how many people you have crashing on your couch this year?
Are we including the Giants, the Giant Jankowitz brothers?
The Giant. Is he crashing at your place?
They did last year for like 2 nights, or maybe it was just 1 night. I can't remember. I had Jeff Gunn. I had some all-stars here crashing.
So
here.
Katie, I also know Mark through the info list pre-Comic-Con party that happens every year.
Yeah.
The week before Comic-Con. It's usually the Tuesday before
That's
Comic-Con.
a great way to
Always-
kick it off. Yeah.
Yeah, and Katie, you've been there before. It's a lot of fun, and they have it every year. Jeff Gunn is a friend of Mark's. He's the guy who throws the party, and he goes down to San Diego and crashes on Mark's couch.
Yeah.
which is
Well, he did
hilarious.
last year. He probably said, you know what, that was fun, Mark, but I think I get a hotel room next year.
Yeah, we have him on the show every year. We always get him on the show here, so we'll see
Yeah.
if we get him again this year. All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's great.
Andy. I just want to say hello, Andy. Good to see you, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
So here's what I know about the room so far. This is what we know.
Mm.
There are a few rooms right now. If you go to San Diego Comic-Con's website on Peak hotel rooms, there are a few rooms on there, including
Shit.
Humphreys Half Moon, which is a beautiful, beautiful hotel out there. I think it's Shelter Island. Is that the
Oh,
TP Island?
yeah.
Out there by the Bali High?
Correct. Yeah, that's not exactly in a gas lamp, but no, I mean it's not at all.
Oh, there's nothing in the gas lamp. There's
Yeah.
nothing downtown available right now on Peak,
Okay.
right? But if you do go to the website, you can get some of those outer hotels. Some of them are super nice.
Yeah.
Super nice. None
Humphreys is great. It's
downtown.
a great concert venue too.
Oh, I know. They had a concert when me and Luke, we stayed out there with our buddy Isaac one year,
Yeah.
and Bill Marsilli. Have you met Bill Marsilli or other Tiki friends? Taking it back to Tiki.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, if you don't yet have a hotel, you do have a couple of options. One, go to X, formerly Twitter, or X/Twitter. Go to the hashtag, not the hashtag. Go to @SDCC Hotel Tracker. That's TRACKR, not ER. SDCC Hotel Tracker. They keep track of all hotels that are coming available because at the closer we get to the convention, hotels will become available through On Peak. There's going to be hotels available. You just have to grab them when they come out. Hotel Tracker it's tracking them for you. So that's SDC Hotel Tracker. I might just throw that I'm going to throw that over here.
Mhm.
So everybody, I'm going to post the comment.
I
So
think-
this,
I need that too.
okay, there you
Not
go.
for me, but for my cohorts.
So that's a very good option. Another option that I checked out today, it's not going to be everyone's favorite option, but it is an available option, is the third-party sites like hotels.com, Trivago, Kayak. There are hotels available downtown right now, but you are paying out the wazoo for those hotels. I did find like Comfort Inn had a downtown hotel, but it was like for $450 a night. So
Yeah. It's pretty high to get hotels outside of the hotel lottery system because they have discounted rates that they do for the convention. Whereas they know the demand for that week is high, so it is going to be very expensive if you do outside of it. But
the thing though, I wonder if it's got rooms online. A brand new hotel, Mark, opened up there around San Diego, the brand new Gaylord Resort.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a hike. It's probably a
far
good
is it?
half hour from the gas lamp.
It's
mm,
really.
Driving?
Yeah,
I heard it's only
closer to
9
T-
miles away
Oh, wow.
from.
Okay.
I heard it's only 9 miles from the convention center.
that's pretty far, Jim.
Yeah, but
9
all I know
miles,
is this: it's the largest hotel being built in the country right now. It's adding another few thousand rooms to the inventory, which is cool.
Well,
It is
really
far.
great. Yeah.
It is far, but it's
Yeah.
but it's closer than the next option I'm going to suggest.
I mean, it's
which
like
is-
LA driving, 3 miles, and it takes half an hour. So
Katie, it's
half an
like
hour
me.
is not too bad.
It's
in
like me
San
coming to
Diego.
see you at your place.
Like, I think the biggest thing with traveling a big distance for Comic-Con is it is possible. Like, first for a few years, I came up from El Cajon to go to the con, and I just took the trolley every morning.
Yep.
But it is a trek. It is possible. It does take a little bit more planning, but it is doable, especially if you need to find a more budget friendly thing. But they do have the trolley running there pretty much like till early in the morning that week. So if you do have to travel, there are options, which is not as easy in like other places like Los Angeles.
Oh, it's not it's not as convenient. By the way, like Katie was saying, the closer you get to the Tijuana border, there are hotel rooms available. Your life is in your own hands with some of those places, but like Chula Vista, I stayed down there before, and like Katie said, that and it's like a military town, and it's not like super ritzy, fancy town, but it does the job, and you can stay there for. I got a fairly inexpensive room down there, but so they do have rooms available around outside the San Diego proper that are still available that you can get to the con probably within like 20 minutes, which is not bad. However, you can also, since there's this thing called the Surfliner here in California, it is basically Amtrak. It's a nice transportation. It takes you right into downtown San Diego, and you hop off and you can hop on the trolleys and takes you wherever you need to go. But the Surfliner goes from Ventura County, Santa Barbara, all the way down to San Diego. So if you are in any of those, if you are going to be like staying in a hotel, anywhere up and down the coast, you can travel down to San Diego every day. And I think a round trip to San Diego from LA was around $38 to $42 last I looked.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. The last time I went to Comic-Con, I actually did take Amtrak and then Surfliner.
Oh, you did?
From the northern Los Angeles County area. You just have to be careful and mindful of the times that are available. So research it before you go, because sometimes it's very limited on what times you can travel, but it is possible. It gets very crowded, but pretty much everybody on the Surfliner in Comic-Con weekend is going to Comic-Con. But it's a good alternative if you don't drive or you don't want to drive, if you don't want to have to deal with parking, because all those things play a factor with Comic-Con. I think a lot of us veterans choose to find a place that we can park pretty much without having to move our car. Like I just be like, find a hotel, tell them I'm going to park my car at the hotel, because they'll let you go in and out and you won't have a problem. But if you're coming up for the day, there is places to park, but it's also a lottery to get parking passes. So
we're going to talk about that next.
So there's lots of alternatives.
And by the way, in the Surfliner, if you want to stay along the coast, it makes stops in Solana Beach, Oceanside, San Clemente, San Juan Capistrano, and I put Irvine on there, even though that's a little bit off into the mid part, a little bit more inland. But you can stay in any of those towns and catch the Surfliner directly down to San Diego.
Or if you're going to Disneyland, it also is in Anaheim. So
nice. Yeah. Make a Disneyland Comic-Con weekend.
I used to hop on it in Anaheim when I lived in Anaheim.
Weekend. Yeah. There's also something called the coaster that you can take from Oceanside all the way down to
what is that?
The gas camp.
What is that, Mark?
It's pretty much a smaller version of what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's called the coaster.
So it's more like a short distance type transportation.
Exactly. Yes. It's not quite a trolley. It's a train actually, but it goes from Oceanside, several different places from Oceanside all the way down. So that's another option as well.
I've also stayed in Oceanside, so yeah.
There you go.
And then you can pay Mark some money and crash on his couch too. All right, Mark, let's make you some money tonight.
Rain.
All right.
Someone from YouTube was saying that it says Stereo Virtual saying that it's 3 hours from LA to San Diego. So yes,
that sounds about right. Yeah, and I've taken that before. Not to Comic-Con. I went to a bachelor party down in San Diego, Mission Beach one time, and it was about. And I'm gonna tell you, they have the dining car, drinks, Wi-Fi access, and if you go during Comic-Con, it's basically a rolling Comic-Con party, right, Katie? Like
Mhm.
it's cosplay and everyone's on their way. It's kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah, the last time I took the train back, I was talking to someone and they were like, "Are you coming from Comic-Con?" And they actually were like, "My husband listens to your show." So you
Oh,
never
wow.
know what's going to happen. So
That's very cool. That's very cool. So Katie did mention parking lottery. We're going to get to that in a second, but for those of you who do you're able to get a hotel close to the convention center, even out in Mission Valley, even Hotel Circle, out in some district, they do have shuttles. Comic-Con does provide free shuttles, and I'm going to put the schedule in the link. It starts on Wednesday, preview night, starting at 3 p.m. till midnight, and then Thursday 5 a.m. They start in the morning till 1 a.m. Friday 5 to 1, Saturday 5 to 1, and Sunday 5 until 7. I'm going to post it right here so everybody has that. Please post, please post, please post.
Yep.
That's kind of messy, but it does the job. Does the job. So the shuttle, so that's kind of convenient. Park your car, don't drive in, don't worry about parking close to the convention center, just park your car. Now, Katie, you mentioned a Ace parking lottery. There's good news and bad news. Good news, yes, it exists. The bad news is the lottery closed today. If you are watching us live, it's June the 2nd. However, for those of you who did get in to the lottery and you were able to register this coming week, I mean, you'll be able to get your parking spots. The emails have gone out for round 1 and round 2, so everybody knows when you're going to be purchasing your tickets. But I got some Ace Parking and hosts it every year. You in and out privileges do not apply for any of these parking lots. These are parking lots all around downtown that Ace manages. Most of the lots in the online sale and others not included will be available for drive-up parking on the day of the event. They do not plan on selling out completely. Here, I think I was going to try to put. I'll do this later, but they doubt they'll sell it completely. But if you are willing to get up early in the morning, you'll probably be able to get a parking spot just about any day you drive up in one of these spots, and I'll put it up in just a second. But also, there is a public sale for all remaining lots that is happening June the 23rd. June the 23rd, and to find out information about that, I'm going to put this into our go here. Oh my gosh, you think I knew what I was doing? So this link right here, space.aceparking.com/events. Go there to find out how to get any of the remaining spots that will be available on June 23rd. So, Mark, do you have any advice on parking in downtown San Diego?
Yeah, don't do it. No, parking, like you said, that lottery, it is exactly what it is, a lottery. Yep. I've been lucky about getting parking on the outskirts and some of the shady areas. I don't think I'll be doing that this year. I think I'm just going to be relying on rides from other people, Uber, public transportation, because I'm one of those guys. I don't get there early, but I stay really late, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So some of those Comic-Con parties are pretty wild. So do not drink and drive.
No, absolutely no drinking, no driving. That and I think here we go. I have it right here.
A lot of streets are also closed down in Gaslamp for the or very limited access through the Gaslamp for the convention. So just keep that in mind as well. It gets very busy. Once the convention closes, Gaslamp is like everyone kind of migrates there, and they do have a lot of little things closed off for offsites and just overall traffic.
Yep.
So Gaslamp is kind of tricky as well.
Harbor Drive will be closed for the duration of Comic-Con during the day. It'll open up later in the evenings to let traffic through, but Harbor Drive is the road right in front of the convention center. In years past, it was open, and if everybody remembers, there was back in 2009, somebody was in line and got out of line of Hall H and was hit by a car and killed. And so they've gone to great lengths to make it a lot safer down there.
So, yeah. I remember that. That was 2009. Really? Damn.
I don't know. It wasn't 2009. I take it back. It was right. I think it was the next year after 2009. It was somebody who was in line to see one of the Twilight panels. And so it was somebody who didn't come to Comic-Con very much and wasn't used to the cons. And it was a mother, and it was such a shame.
What changed Comic-Con forever, basically.
It did, yeah.
Twilight, not that particular event. Twilight in general.
Yeah.
Changed the dynamic of Comic-Con. But there is also usually a specific place for rideshare to drop off. I used Lyft a few years ago multiple times. I think our hotel was a little further. Pardon me. And they had an entire Lyft zone. They even were doing like free water. I don't know if they've done that in the most recent years, but I do know that sometimes they partner with rideshare programs for the convention.
Oh yeah, and you'll get a discount if you're part of the Comic-Con group. And I do have
Are people sometimes dropped off at like the Marriott or Hilton? Because those have at least big enough areas where it seems like you can get in and out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Luke, you and I have done the Marriott before. I'm not the Marriott. We've done the Hilton up there. The Hilton has a spot for ride shares to come pick up right there.
Yeah. We've Ubered to go to like a tiki bar or something like that.
There you
It
go.
all comes back to tiki.
It does. I mean, I've got a tiki announcement, but we'll wait for when we talk about the pop-ups there.
All right. So I'm going to bring this map up. Here's a map, and I could probably post this. This is from Ace Parking. It's kind of hard to see if you're watching, if you're watching on our phone, it's going to be just zoom in. So the average price at parking lots all over the Ace has is somewhere between 32 to 42 over. Wow. Which one's the 42 one? Oh, that's over in, that's over near Petco. Yeah.
Near Petco, yeah.
Yeah, and then like the conventions, Petco Park, there's some 42, some 32. So it's all between 32 and 42, and it's all the way over to the Embarcadero, Dead Man's Point. Dead Man's Point over there on the waterfront. So there's one back there in the back for $27 on right there at like Broadway and like 5th Street, Broadway and 6th Street. So
that's a good spot.
That is a good spot.
But do be aware of where you're parking, because I invited a date down one time and then got her a spot last minute, but it ended up being kind of near some of the homeless encampments where she didn't feel like her car was safe there. So then we had to move to another spot. So just make sure you're aware of where you're parking. Some people are more comfortable with the covered, some are more open. But I mean, I think they still have security, all that.
Yeah.
Just be aware of where you're
parking. Can I ask you a question? And let's be sensitive about this, because there are people that are homeless for no fault of their own. There's all kinds of issues for homelessness, but for people who, I guess what I'm asking, for people who are coming down that aren't used to San Diego, if there are parts of downtown maybe that they might want to not be trying to find parking in, like what you would consider maybe the safer parts of downtown to be finding parking in?
I think once you go east, once you get into the double digits, I'd say 10th Avenue and more east from there, it gets a little shady. And by a little shady, Tent City. And, I mean, let's be honest, there is a huge drug and crime problem in that vicinity. So try to avoid that if you can. But other than that, I mean, it is a safer city than say LA or San Francisco. But that being said, keep your wits about you, and
and be aware of where you're walking late at night. Like if you got to go back, hopefully you're with a group of friends and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So that's the logistics of how to get there, how to park, shuttles, badges. You're not going to get one, and whatnot. But let's talk a little bit about the guts of the convention itself. Katie, you actually have some experience with some of the two of the biggest marquee events at the event, the Masquerade and Her Universe. So if you don't mind, to kind of take us through a little bit what you know about those two events.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Comic-Con or just some of the other events that go on every year, Her Universe, if you guys are not familiar, Her Universe is a clothing company started by Ashley Eckstein years ago, and every year they do a geek couture fashion show on Friday of Comic-Con at it's not the Hilton, it's the I can't remember where it's at right now. It's one of the ballrooms, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
Probably the Marriott, right?
Manchester.
It might be. I cannot
Manchester.
remember. It might be. It is. That sounds right. Okay, so it's at the hotel. And it does fill up pretty quickly, so it is good to like plan for that. But it's on Friday night, basically, for the gist of it. Unfortunately, if you want to submit to compete in it, that portal is closed. They're actually starting to notify finalists they already have notified finalists, because it says will be notified around May 17th. So the finalists have already been working on their looks. But this is where geekdom meets fashion. It is not a cosplay contest, just so you guys are aware. If you want to know more about it, I did actually interview Ashley Eckstein about the show last year, and that is on our YouTube page, and I talked to her about it, so you can kind of learn more about it. But yeah, so people submit high fashion looks inspired by different fandoms. Every year there is some sort of theme. This year it is presented by Universal. So everything that you see this year will be in the Universal theme. So, earlier we were talking about Jaws. There may be someone who does something inspired by Jaws. There's Wicked, there's Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, there's all the Universal monsters, Back to the Future. I really hope some people do some Universal Monster stuff, because I love some good high fashion Universal Monsters themed things. We also have little, even like Happy Gilmore, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Battlestar Galactica, like all Scott Pilgrim versus the World, another huge one. So like all of these are listed on their website as like possible.
You are singing my song, Katie. Sorry.
Yeah, Warrior Princess. So there's a lot of things, including like all their animated DreamWorks animation, so all of those can be the inspiration. So people submit renderings, sketches of what they're going to do, and they pick the people. There's usually, like it says, 20 to 25 people, and then there are finalists who win a $2,000 cash prize, and they may be offered the opportunity to design a collection for her universe. And be sold on their website, or I don't know if they still partner with Hot Topic. They did partner with Hot Topic, and so I think they are still connected to them. It's just presented by Universal this year. Mm-hmm. So like I said, submissions for entering it are closed, so you can't do that anymore, but you can attend it at Comic-Con. It's very fun. It is a few hours, because everybody does their walk. So either the designer will walk, or they'll hire a model to walk for them. And these garments are beautiful. Mm-hmm. They're stunning. They're clever. It's if you're a geek who loves fashion, I highly recommend it. I've gone pretty much every year I've been to Comic-Con. And Ashley Eckstein always hosts it, and she usually has a guest host. I don't know if they've announced the guest host yet.
Katie, did you mention that you had a one-on-one with Ashley Eckstein? Oh, sorry. I
mentioned it.
I ran and got a drink.
Ashley also
one too.
always wears fabulous outfits as well. She also does the same thing. If you guys aren't aware of who Ashley Eckstein is, you may know her as the voice of Ahsoka. If you have something else. So she is the voice of Ahsoka. She is also one of the voices in She-Ra. So yeah, but she's a huge fan of Star Wars and everything like that as well. So go check it out. I highly recommend it. It's quite a show, and the winners do get cash prizes, which I don't know if it's always been that way, but it's pretty cool. And they have like fan voted, and so everybody's there. You'll get like a little ballot like on your chair when you go, and you can vote for your favorite, and for different categories as well. So I think there's usually, it says 2 winners each will receive a cash prize of $2,000. Cool. So, which is a good lump of money for entering a fashion show. And these are pretty great. One of my friends won it one year, and so
that's cool.
It's a spectacle. And a lot of them, sometimes they are very technologically special. Some people are incorporating technology in new ways, like whether it be 3D printing, whether it be lights, so it's very extravagant, but it leans toward fashion and not cosplay, like I said.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want to make sure we stress it's not cosplay, it's couture, right? Mm-hmm. How they like to say it, which is kind of cool.
So inspired by is how I like to say it, instead of like a cosplay. With cosplay, you can still be inspired by, but you're replicating something that exists. Whereas with this, they want you to be inspired. Like a few years back, before I went down the K-pop black hole, someone did a BTS themed dress, and they incorporated a lot of different elements that represent BTS into their look. So
wow.
Yeah.
So, Katie, one of these days, I want you to show us some of your designs because Katie is also a designer as well. We'd love to see that.
Oh, nice.
But I encourage everybody to go back and it's on our YouTube page. See the interview that Katie did with Ashley. I jumped in just for a second, but I was not needed because let's just say I'm not very well versed in that world. So I was kind of I wasn't needed in that conversation. Katie did a great job. So go back and check it out. She went through everything about her universe, where it came from, the origins. And Ashley's just an absolutely incredible person.
Yes. I also believe that I did a couple write-ups from the past years because I got press passes for it on our website, on the website. You might have to do a little bit of looking, but there is a write-up at least from a couple of years ago that I did that included pictures and stuff like that. So
yep. Thank you very much, Katie. I just want to put this up concerning parking, Stereo Virtual. It's pretty shady parking by the trolley next to Petco Park. Do you know where that's at, Mark? I don't know exactly where that's at. But the trolley that has a clock on top and connects the blue line trolley and orange line and the green line is really close to the con.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
All right. All right.
Good job.
So, Katie, thank you for it's at the Manchester Grand Hyatt. That's where it's at this year with her universe with Ashley Eckstein. That's really cool. I think
it's
that's
a fun theme. I really think it's going to be a really fun theme this year because there's so many great fandoms in the Universal scope. And especially like you said, with anniversaries happening for Jaws and things like that. And obviously, that even includes Halloween also. And so I hope a lot of the Halloween all year round the people who love Halloween and Universal Monsters come through and at least have some representation. And they also put before everybody walks the runway, I didn't mention it, they do a whole video of them developing their look and their behind the scenes of sewing in and the work that goes into it too. So you get to see that as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right. We're going to talk about panels and then we're talking about offsites and then we're going to be done. So for the night, because that's all we know. That's all we know. All right.
Are you going to do another one in a couple of weeks as we get closer?
Oh yeah, that we have just entered con season. Mark, you're more than invited to. We want you to join us. We're going to be updating people. We're going to be doing some profiles and some spotlights on some comic book artists, some friends of ours on different parts. We're going to be doing some previews of some panels. We're going to be we'll do one show specifically about all the offsites and parties. That's always a fun one.
And collectible.
We try to, as best we can, and it depends on our schedules. When the panels are released, we'd love to come together and spotlight what we think are the biggest, most the panels that are worth the wait. Yeah, and plus some of them that might be flying under the radar, because I think that I'm gonna promote the heck out of a panel once we get closer to it. But the Tiki Freaks, which is the partner podcast at the Con Guy, actually is a really cool panel that I want to promote. And anyways, let's talk about panels. Let's talk about panels, what we know right now. And I'm going to tell you right up front, folks, to be good citizens, good friends with San Diego Comic-Con, we're not going to give super details about times and dates and probably not even a lot of the guests of the panels. We don't know a lot of the panels. Our friends over at the U-Blog, they will start listing panels as they come in. But if you're on X, Instagram, people will start announcing their panel. A lot of people have already announced their panels. All you got to do is put in the hashtag SDCC panels, and you're going to find them real quick. But here's a couple that we do know. But I mean, first of all, the official schedule usually comes out about 2 weeks before San Diego Comic-Con. So this year, that's going to be sometime around July 10th to the 13th. On that first day, the 10th, they'll probably release preview night and Thursday. And then they do, is that how they do it? They do, and then they do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I forget how they order. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
They come out Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They come out exactly 2 weeks before the day that happens.
Yep. So be paying attention because that's when it happens. That's when all the big panels are announced. I think we're going to have some surprises this year because, Katie, why don't you fill us in on perhaps the biggest news, Hall H news, blankety blank is not going to be coming up against blankety blank this year. The two big competing. Why don't you tell us what I'm talking about?
Ooh. Marvel
and DC.
Yep.
Good job, Katie. You get a
And for those of you who are new to the show or new to Comic-Con, Marvel and DC, at least pre-pandemic, were always a massive presence at Comic-Con, where that's the big ticket items for the best way to put it. And ever since the pandemic, they have been MIA. I think even DC has been, right?
Yeah.
Like last year there was
Comics.
Last year there was no big major studio panels.
Well, besides Marvel.
Oh yeah, they did do one last year, huh?
Marvel had the biggest panel they've ever had.
But that was their first year in a couple of years.
Yeah. They didn't come for a couple of years, and they came back. And last year they had the premiere of the big screening of Wolverine. And I mean,
last year.
Say it again.
Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Robert Downey showed up as Dr. Doom.
Yeah, Dr. Doom showed
that
up.
was cool.
That's right.
And then they had the fireworks outside, and then the drone show over top Petco.
Wolverine
it was amazing.
I'm thinking of the year before.
And then also, like in years past, like, Star Wars would be another big one, and they've been backing out because of Star Wars Celebration. So a lot of these things also have to do with the fact that Disney has their own convention as well, and they want to save a lot of it for that too. But yeah, that's the biggest one, especially because with Marvel, we are coming out of Thunderbolts, and we're now going into Fantastic Four comes out the weekend of Comic-Con.
Yes.
And so that's kind of why there's a lot of speculation on like why are they not going to be there? Because they could be doing press for Fantastic Four at Comic-Con, but they're not. And then of course after Comic-Con we have
well, we're not sure.
Avengers, etc. So
here's the deal. Thank you for setting that up. So yeah, you are correct. It used to be Warner Brothers DC at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. People have been waiting for days to get in to the Hall H, and then 6 o'clock that evening was Marvel. So it was just the gargantuan marquee event of the entire convention. People waited days. People would forgo the convention itself just to get into that one room, Hall H. And they were in there all day. Got your bathrooms in there, you got food in there. So why leave? But that said, I think you're right. Kevin Feige, James Gunn announced, you know what, we're not coming, except for one thing. So we'll talk about that in a second. But then Kevin Feige also announced, okay, here we go. Hey, hello, Becca Na. I think I agree with you. There is a rumor that they're going to show a screening of Fantastic Four at Comic-Con. All Kevin Feige said is, we're not doing our big Hall H panel. That's what he said. You can interpret that any way you want, but
they're not doing a panel.
Yes. I would be surprised if there's not some kind of massive activation for Fantastic Four this year, kind of like they did Deadpool and Wolverine last year. I know that Marvel and Lucasfilm has said this before. If we can't top the previous year, then we don't like coming. So they don't like to come if they don't think they can make an impression. So the reason that they canceled their panel was because their movies got moved back by 6 months. Yes. They would have a movie coming out next May. That now has been moved to Christmas time. So now they have next Comic-Con to promote Doomsday. So they're going to be there probably in a giant. It's Infinity War Doomsday, I think is what they're calling it, right? The first one with Robert Downey, or is that the second one?
Well, Doomsday is the first one coming out. The second
Infinity War Doomsday, yeah, and then the second one is Infinity War Secret Wars.
Secret Wars,
yeah. So they're coming out 1 year apart, but they're coming out during Christmas time. So that, for those of you who didn't get tickets this year to Comic-Con, you're in luck, because next year Marvel's probably going to pull out all the stops. It's going to be they have more cast members in the Doomsday movie than they've had in any movie they've ever made. So they are really gearing it up to be their biggie. And
their last massive panel it wasn't for Endgame, was it? Did they have one for Endgame?
Well, when they announced Avengers the first time, they pulled out all those stars. Did they have an Endgame panel?
I don't think they had one for Endgame. They had one for Infinity War. I was at that panel.
Yeah, they did. You're right. But they didn't have it for Endgame because they were going radio silent.
But I was there for the Infinity War panel when they brought out like everybody.
But here's what's interesting. I was there in I think it was 2010, the year that Captain America First Avenger came out, way back, Chris Evans' first movie. They did not have a panel featuring Chris Evans. There wasn't anything there, but it was the weekend that the movie opened up, and they did not have a screening at San Diego Comic-Con. But for those of us who went up a few blocks up the road to watch the movie coming out that night, Chris Evans just popped up there in the front row waving at everybody. So I'd be surprised if there's not some kind of Instagram worthy event that will be happening, because I don't think Marvel's going to miss out on that event. So I do expect something from Marvel. DC, though, have you guys heard what James Gunn is coming to? He at first said no plans, but he's coming. Mark, have you heard?
No, what?
Luke?
No, but would it be Superman possibly?
No. Well, I bet you he's coming with John Cena.
The
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And apparently they are debuting. Katie, have you seen Peacemaker on Max? Okay.
I have not.
Oh, it's so good.
It is such a good show.
With all the switches that have been happening with HBO and Max, it's been confusing, and I had to
HBO Max,
get rid of it. And,
Now they're back to HBO Max.
Yeah, that was the weirdest rebrand.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: they're coming, and they have one of the cool things about Peacemaker, the first season, it opened every episode with a big dance number. John Cena and all. Great. It was a giant dance number. Even people who are dead were there dancing. It was so. What James Gunn said, they will be debuting the new dance number at Comic-Con. So I have a feeling that will be Hall H. And somebody asked him on Twitter, on X, well, are you only talking about Peacemaker? And he said, we're coming to talk about Peacemaker, but I'll be open to any questions. I'll answer anything. So in other words, get your questions ready for any other piece of the DC universe. James Gunn's ready for you. It's going to be cool.
Kind of interesting because it's giving we're not going to tell you, because right now our biggest competitor isn't having anything official. Like their biggest competitor at the panels has always been Marvel, and Marvel's like, we're not coming. And so he's like, bet.
I agree with you. I think that the fact that James Gunn's showing up saying, oh, well, I'm sure we'll talk about something else. Who do you think what's he got hidden in his hidden sack? It's stuff's coming out on that stage. I predict it. We predict it right here and now.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the biggest news, is that they're not coming. James Gunn is coming. There is one big fandom that is having a 50th anniversary panel this year. We don't know a lot of details, but Mark, what is that fandom?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You can say it.
Oh, I can.
It's on your shirt.
You just can't say the date or time because stuff's always pending till they know who can and can't make their panels work.
Oh, because even in the email they have a time, but that's not.
No, that is your time.
Most likely that will be your time, but sometimes if panels fall through, they do move some things around. That's why you can't announce.
Mark, right now your room and panel has been assigned to you on June 6th, and I'll let everybody know. We have all put in for panels, and we've received the panels that have been accepted. And by June 6th, Mark, you finalize your description. Notice I finalize.
Yes.
Your description. That's you accepting. Yes, we are doing this panel. Yep. And Becca's right. She goes, until the schedule comes out, things can shift.
Things can shift.
And even then, things have been known to shift. But try not to. But so Mark, there's a cool panel coming out that you are intimately involved with, aka producing. What is that?
I am. Stop me if I can't say anything. I'm moderating.
You can say whatever you want, except for the time and location.
Time and location. Okay. Well, it will be at Comic-Con. That's all I can tell you, at the convention center. And I'm moderating a panel. I'm very happy to learn that I just got accepted last week. It is Jaws 50.
The 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Yes. I've got a couple of guests already confirmed. I've been talking about it for years with them. And I've got some bigger names that are, I'll be honest, bigger fish to get. And
you're gonna need a bigger fish, that's for sure.
Yeah. But it's you know, I mean that's one of the reasons why we're going to the Big Jaws 50 on Martha's Vineyard, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we are glad that Mark has asked the con guys to come along and kind of partner to help perhaps keep this thing on the track. So we'll do everything we can. I know that if you guys remember 5 years ago, we had 10 podcasts with a lot of the creatives and actors from the original Jaws from 1975. So we'll see what transpires. Most of them are kind of older and don't travel a lot. Even Mark, I found out even a couple of them that we thought were going to be out on the island are doing it by video link. So,
okay. I mean, not
it makes sense.
Good, but you know what? It's better than nothing, and they're still alive. So, let's.
Andy Harrow put it like I think that's a shark. He put a shark right there.
Emoji. Yep.
All right, but okay. So, Mark, we're excited about that. Jaws, the 50th anniversary of Jaws. We love Jaws. We will be doing we're going to be doing another Jaws podcast from Martha's Vineyard and maybe a little mini podcast leading up to it. It depends as things are shaking out.
And we all discussed this in the hotel room at WonderCon. Remember that?
Yeah, that's when. It was at WonderCon.
Yeah.
Mark was there. One of those nights when we were spending late nights. We don't know what was happening, but it was something that had to do with this. But and we planned a Jaws 50th. And the thing is, I'm surprised, honestly, that I would think that everybody was clamoring for a Jaws 50th.
I can't believe. Yeah, I'm surprised that Universal's not putting it on. I thought it would have been like, yeah, you want to do Jaws 50? Pick a number, guy. But got approved. Yeah.
Anyway, but what's cool is you do have some experts on Jaws, people that have written books and stuff like that. So it's film critics. So it's going to be a cool panel. It's going to be a really cool panel. All right. So another panel that we know is happening. Again, we can't tell you dates and time, but you hear us keep talking about Tiki here. Well, one of the most famous is Universal Studios doing anything for Jaws 50th anniversary? Is Universal Studios doing anything for Jaws 50th anniversary? We think so, Andy. I know that in Florida
they're at least doing merchandise, but we don't know yet if they're going to do any special stuff with the attraction or build up Amity to be some sort of walking tour. We don't know that yet, but collectibles for sure.
Luke, where did we see an advertisement or some kind of marketing they said
it's
about?
All over, right? They're doing kind of like the summer fun nights or
they're doing the Fan Fest thing.
Thing, and Jaws, the image of the shark is the main promotional piece.
Because we went to the Fan Fest and you saw in our last podcast, but no Jaws was involved. We think it's coming up.
When exactly? What day is the 50th? Like, when did it come out? It came out in the summertime.
Yeah,
June 20th.
That's what I thought.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like they would have announced it already if they were doing something. It's also tricky because of Horror Nights.
Yep.
Because Horror Nights builds are probably already going on right now.
And Horror Nights starts in August this year.
Yeah. So they're already building for Horror Nights. So unless maybe they're doing something for Horror Nights, I don't know. But
can I tell you, my fingers are crossed. I've heard rumors that there's going to be a Jaws haunted house at Horror Nights. That would be the best thing in the world.
Oh,
I think that the only way they could do something for the 50th without having announced it already would be for that, because
it's not on the spec map yet, though. Yeah. So if it is, it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I feel like if they were doing a 50th event, they would have had to already announce it if it's in the summer.
Yep. So. All right.
That'd be cool if they did one of those mist type things with the shark fin or the head coming out of the mist where it looks like water.
Oh,
that they've done in some of the haunted houses.
They're doing something. I can't wait.
Or a hologram, just like Back to the Future 2.
All right.
Yeah.
So we are okay. I don't want to. I'm going to try to hurry us along so we don't go too long, since we already have gone too long. But it's all right. This is our first one back. So, anyways, let me see. I was just starting to talk. We're going to have a sort of tiki podcast. The Tiki Freak is our brother podcast that we have. Mark's been on that one. It's a lot of fun. We cover the world of tiki, exotica, and mid-century tropical escapism. It's always fun. And one of the people who has encapsulated and presented the imagery of mid-century Palm Springs and tiki and exotica almost more than everybody is an artist known as Shag. His name is Josh Engel. He's a very famous, world-renowned artist, and we will be showcasing his artwork and a very cool panel there. We're going to have some surprises. He will be on the floor selling his artwork. He's been there for many years, so we are excited about this. Again, we're going to wait till the schedule comes out before we make any announcements about times, days, and locations, and finalizing the guests in there. But we are showcasing the artwork of Shag, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Real quick, a couple other panels we do know about. I am on a panel, Strategies and Creativity. I'm on it usually every year. It used to be called How to Have a Full-Time Creative Career and a Part-Time Schedule. We're going to be doing a podcast to kind of showcase that, to preview that. Also, as a second half of that panel, and I'm kind of excited about this. They're doing a special mixer this year on Thursday of the convention over in one of the Marriott ballrooms, a mixer for creatives, mainly writers and artists, podcasters, and different people to all meet each other, filmmakers, and network. Bring your cards, and more information will be available on that later. That's going to be very cool. I do have one question. Guys, we don't know a lot about the panels yet. Like I said, the panelists will be coming up soon. And maybe this is another show altogether, but what is the big marquee events that will replace Marvel and DC? I have an idea. I want to hear your ideas first. Let's give ourselves 3 minutes for this segment. What are the big marquee panels that might replace Marvel and DC? Something, one of the biggest fandoms in the world was just announced on the Tadum Festival this past week from Netflix.
Okay.
Stranger Things,
which is finishing this year. First part comes out in November. Second part comes out Christmas. Third part with a 2.5 movie on New Year's Eve.
I just realized I was muted. I said Stranger Things.
Oh, sorry. Katie got it. Katie for the win. Ding, 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 ding. I think Stranger Things has sort of been there in minimal ways before, but I don't know.
It's never had a big presence.
Yeah.
And like just the entire, we could do an entire show about Stranger Things and the craziness that is Stranger Things, especially the fact that it's been a 10 years in the making thing for 5 seasons.
Kids are like now 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So it's like the fact that they've never made a big presence at Comic-Con is still baffling to me and wild.
I agree.
So,
people would line up for that. I would line up for that. This is
I haven't even done an offsite.
Oh my god! Oh wait, I heard I thought they were doing an offsite last time because somebody did an offsite with a roller skating rink, but it wasn't Stranger Things.
It wasn't Stranger Things. I can't remember what it is.
Let me run through this real quick because we do have to finish up.
Yeah.
Star Wars has not been at San Diego Comic-Con since 2015 when they announced the big return. However, they're starting a new era. They have 3 new movies they've gotten rid of a lot, but 3 new movies that have been announced that are in production. That next year Grogu and Mandalorian and Grogu comes out. The Ryan Gosling movie is in production, and then another one, Fighter Squadron. I have a feeling this would be a good year for Star Wars to come back if they did, because Disney does have a big presence on the floor this year. They have this big contest with Disney Plus and Hulu. They're bringing people in for they call it a Marvel experience on the floor. So I don't know what that is, but if Disney's going to be there, why don't they bring Star Wars? Why don't they bring Avatar, Fire and Ash, which comes out this December? And what about Tron, Ares, which comes out in November? So they have 3 gigantic movies they could kind of be promoting. The last time Disney did a presentation was for Tron. They did Tron and Flynn's Arcade, so maybe they'll come back. Who knows? There's also, here's a couple things. The Walking Dead is always there in Hall H. Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon is going to be promoting, so maybe he'll be there. Severance is supposedly going to have a big presence, we hear. They just wrapped production on the latest Monarch Legacy of Monsters, aka the Godzilla series. So I would love to see me some Godzilla TV series there. Phineas and Ferb is going to have a new series. But here's another one. Adult Swim. Adult Swim is having the festival on the green behind. That's one of our offsites. So since they're there, and Rick and Morty is going to be showing at that time. They have a lot of shows. it would be the perfect time for them to move on over to Hall H, although they usually take the Indigo Ballroom.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Luke, this is a special one. It's the 20th anniversary of Robot Chicken. Luke has a cool video of being on the Robot Chicken in line and asking a question of the guys one time. It was so funny. I would love if Robot Chicken comes back for their 20th anniversary. That would be amazing.
That was like around the beginning of the con, guys. So was that almost like 10 years ago?
Last of Us, that's an interesting one. They will have finished.
They already finished their second season.
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll have anything to show, but that isn't. Yeah, Becca, I'd love to see Star Wars High Republic. Yes, Andy, that's a good one. Is ending this month. If it's ending, I don't know if they'll bring anything back.
Yeah, they don't normally talk about things that aren't current because it's a promotional event. I'm just curious to see. I would love to see like a Tron presence at Comic-Con. I just like with how they do their own conventions, it's so tricky to know what they're going to bring and what they're not because they do everything on. They want to save stuff for, D23, which I know we don't have D23 this year.
D23 is next year, so they might be. So there will be some Marvel presence at D23. That's the thing I'm worried about. But they also, and the thing is, Reed Pop does the Star Wars convention, which just happened, and the next Star Wars convention isn't until 2027. So that's a long ways to go for some promotion. So let's keep our fingers crossed. We'll know a little bit more as we get closer. We do have to finish it up here. Offsites. Real quick. Here's the offsites. Have you guys heard of any offsites before I go on?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's sort of Comic-Con related. It's definitely Tiki related. I know it keeps on going back to that, but this is on the official or the unofficial San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog. None other than famous Tiki mixologist Jeff Beach Bum Berry will be opening up a pop-up this summer.
Yep. You know where?
Omni Hotel, which is
it's right across the train tracks. It's right across the train tracks. They're doing in a number of Omnis across the country, but it's there all summer. I was talking to Luke about this the other day. Mark, we're meeting there. We are meeting, getting Tiki drinks at the Omni Hotel.
Got to do it.
Daily. I love that.
I thought you guys were going to say False Idol or something.
And for people who don't know, mixologist Jeff Beach Bum Berry. Do I have his book? I have his book, a couple books by him. He's the guy who basically has cataloged all the Tiki drinks and kept them all in one spot. So for those of us in the Tiki culture, he is kind of like very important to us. It's kind of like the Elder Scrolls. He has the Elder Scrolls of Tiki. Katie, have you heard of any offsites?
No, I don't believe I have yet.
Okay. I've got a quick list here. Paramount.
I was going to mention that though, real quick before we close out, that the entries for the Comic-Con Masquerade are still open.
Oh, good.
So they technically the deadline is the 7th. This is actually a cosplay one for those of you who aren't familiar. Happens Saturday night in it's in the Grand Ballroom. I think I can't remember where it's at.
The Masquerade's in Ballroom 20.
Yeah, Ballroom 20. And it's this big event. They cosplayers and costume makers enter, and they can do solo categories, they can do group categories, they do multiple prizes, like the Art Directors Guild does cash prize, Frankenstein's Collectibles is doing a $500 or $1,000 cash prize.
Oh,
the
wow.
Costumers Guild is doing prizes. Like there's multiple prizes for this. Most of them are cash. And it is open. It is a long thing. They're usually about 3 hours long, but it is a costume contest. Multiple categories for what they awards for, best in show, all these different things. Usually there is a children's section where younger nerds and cosplayers can enter, but it's a big thing. So you can still submit to participate. It is going to take up a majority of your Saturday because of rehearsals and everything like that. There's also criteria for they don't really want you to wear your cosplay before the masquerade, things like that. But the full rules are going to be on the Comic-Con website, comic-con.org/cc/things-to-do/masquerade. But if you go to the website, just look for things to do and you'll find it under Masquerade, and that has all the requirements that you need to hit to enter. But the deadline is July 7th, but they do fill up quickly. They actually probably might already be filled up, but you can still look into it. You do have to have your costume for the most part finished before you enter, unless it's like little tiny things, but they mostly have to see that it's done. So you can do that. You have to be at least 12 years old to participate. So go check that out if that's something that interests you, because this is where, unlike the Her Universe fashion show, the masquerade is exquisite costumes, and those are actual costumes. They always have a really good intermission while they do the scoring and stuff too. So yeah, check that out. It's also a nice way to sit down and enjoy something after the big busy day at Comic-Con. And then they do rescreens, and I think they have overflow somewhere as well.
And
So,
Katie, and for those who don't know, Katie has she's kind of like a specialist in cosplay and costuming, and she's done commissions and whatnot. Katie, from your experience, what level of cosplay are we talking about at the Masquerade for people who have not been?
It's multiple levels, but I mean, this is a lot of people who do these masquerades compete all over the world sometimes, or have competed multiple times in this one. Ben has been a model, been one of the people that's modeling one of the looks, I believe, in this contest. But
wait, who?
Ben's participated in it. Like, he
Ben
did
Cleaver.
it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite a pretty exquisite thing. Some people, it really just depends. It's also kind of story based, like people present their costumes, so how they present it is kind of like a show too. But if you just like, obviously you're going to see cosplays walking the floor that are amazing, and a lot of the ones on the floor are going to be equally as good, if not better, than the ones in the masquerade. Not only better, but equal.
So, Katie, is this the Met Gala of Comic-Con?
I mean, I don't know.
That's more your universe, probably.
I would have to think.
Maybe the Met Gala of cosplay.
Yeah.
So, but it's where you're going to see some really cool cosplays. People go out because it is all performance-wise as well. So,
and the
these
nights
are most of the time going to be professional or professional adjacent cosplayers or seamstresses, because sometimes I think the people can make the costume. I don't know exactly the rules, but yeah. So.
And the thing is, the Comic-Con does a great job of the entire night becomes a cool celebration for the Masquerade. Like Katie was talking about, they have overflow rooms. Sales Pavilion becomes a dance hall, kind of, where they have snacks and free snacks and drinks out there while the screens have the Masquerade playing, and then everybody comes in afterwards. It's like a big closing night party in there, and then the next day they have the replays in certain rooms. It's a really cool event, and if you have not done it, I really encourage you to do it. What's interesting, it used to be the only thing on Saturday night. Comic-Con now has started programming.
Late night programming.
They have late night programming throughout the week, so they have a lot of competing things to be a part of. But if you've never done the Masquerade, I do encourage you to check it out. All right, very quickly. Thank you, Katie, for filling us in on that. What? Oh, sorry. Offsites. So I'm going to, if you look at the cover image, let me see right here. This is some of the con guys, plus my buddy Greg, and there's Junior, who was with that hashtag show. Carrie Lane, she's been with us for many years. She's probably doing a show right now as we speak. She's in Fanversation, I think is the name of. She's on there with Teal. Anyways, so we are inside something right there called Paramount's The Lodge. It was an offsite there. Paramount's The Lodge is coming back. It's an immersive experience that combines all kinds of fandoms into one spot. Right, the Omni Hotels is having the Tiki pop-up, just like Mark said. Adult Swim Carnival on the Green is back. And
that's always behind the convention center on the Vibe of the Water, just in case anybody's wondering.
And it's free. And I was listening to him talk the other day on a podcast, and they have some cool plans for this year. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I can't give much. I don't know if I should even mention this one. I'm going to mention it.
Is Hulu doing their normal?
I don't know about. Well, Hulu has something, because Hulu and Disney Plus have a big promotion going on in it.
Oh, that's right.
Where they're putting people up, giving them free 4-day badges, coming to the convention. They're flying them in, and all kinds of stuff. So I have a feeling there's something big happening with Disney Plus and Hulu this year. So that would be cool. We did speak with XLE Productions. We will see them. In other words, that was last year, our friend Bernie and the Flux Capacitors. We don't know when and how much, but they are going to be returning with down to do an after party at Comic-Con this year. Also, Malibu Barbie Cafe is having a pop-up experience created by Mattel and Bucket Listers. It is taking over the Bayside Kitchen and Bar.
Yeah.
D20. Here's something interesting. D23 is doing the 30th anniversary of the Goofy movie. Sold out. Sorry. There's a couple of different events that are happening with Thrill Joy, former owner, one of the founders of Funko. They're having an event. Sold out. And one of the other guys from Funko, he left Funko. Yep. Sold out. So these are events that are selling out very quickly. People are very keen on their parties.
And fun days, they're not doing fun days at Comic-Con this year.
No fun days.
But they're doing an event at Funko Hollywood.
In the store. Yeah, that's interesting. That'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
San Diego LAN is hosting the digital game room down inside the Marriott Marquis Pacific Ballroom. The Levinson Group is doing the annual Comic-Con bar crawl on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday, they didn't do it Thursday. Oh, Thursday at 9, Friday at 7:30, Saturday at 7:30. This is something that's weird, but kind of cool. On Friday, January 25th, Worldwide Sumo at Gallagher Square inside Petco Park is doing the Superpower Sumo Wrestling show. So that's kind of crazy.
At least they're using Petco Park again, because they didn't use it for a few years. I don't
remember when they had
yeah, it's been
they had the big MTV did the big festival in the middle there with the Ferris wheel and everything.
Like the zombie thing.
The zombie thing, yeah.
Well, they did the Walking Dead thing. That was hard to get into.
Yeah.
They
and
had,
then a couple
Nerd HQ there, right?
Nerd HQ. One of the best. Nerd HQ. Rest in peace. By the way, Nerd HQ is having some things going on, which is kind of cool.
Oh, really?
They may not be back to San Diego, but they're doing some things. I remember one of my favorite things was Nerd HQ had a screening of Serenity there with Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk introducing it that night before we saw it outside on the Petco field. All right, real quick. The Levinson Group also has some parties going on. They're having some rooftop parties. Let me see. CeeLo Rooftop Lounge, late night party starting at 9 o'clock. That looks like Friday and Saturday. And then Mosh, M-O-S-H, Mosh Isley. It's a mosh pit at the Music Box, San Diego on July 25th. Comic Tron is a Daft Punk inspired Comic-Con after party at the Music Box on the 26th. Come on, let's hope. Come on, let's bring Tron back. And of course, it all comes back to Tiki. Bad Idea is having a Tiki party. You'll need to wear your Bad Idea first customer pin to the Bali High restaurant out on Shelter Island. That's Saturday night at 7. Mark, you went to that, didn't you? Me and Luke went to that twice or once.
I did not go last year. I went the previous year.
Yeah, that's a cool event.
2023.
In case I didn't mention it, the Cat Cafe is back. The Cat Cafe. Where do we go? The Cat Cafe, coffee and kitties, Comic-Con special, Wednesday through Sunday. $26 plus tax gets you in for nearly an hour to sit and have coffee and cuddle some kitties. That's kind of a cool event.
Yeah,
guys, that's all that I have right now. I don't think we should really try to.
It's false.
Wait. Fandom. Let's do this. Any word on Fandom? There is a Fandom party this year. That's all I know. There is a Fandom party. It's not officially announced, but we heard some folks talking about. We have some friends who are kind of know the planning that's going in. It's going to be another big one. So we don't know if there's an Entertainment Weekly party this year because they did. Yeah, but they kind of have. They're not as prominent now that they stopped the. That's more than I knew before. Thanks, Beck. So, anyways, lots of parties are happening. Lots of offsite events. I think once we start getting into the guts of June, we're going to find out a lot more about the offsite events. And once we hit July, it's going to be coming like a fire hose spraying us in the face. We're not going to be able to breathe. So, anyways, does anybody have any closing thoughts before I shut us down for the night?
It is 9:34 on what day is this? Monday, June 2nd. We have 9:35. Sorry, we have 50 days, 22 hours, and 55 minutes until the con.
Hey, Mark, you should make one of those countdown apps.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, not Comic-Con related, because you said a countdown, so now I'm going to say a countdown, but it's not Comic-Con related. But BTS will all be back and from their military service. this month. We're 7 days away from 2 of them coming back. In 21 days, they'll all be home. That's Katie's thing that she's excited about.
Everybody, please bomb Katie's social media. Katie, we want a special Con Girls Con Girls K-pop. We need to do some Girls K-pop.
I was going to say it's adjacent to Comic-Con. If you guys are wanting to do other things around San Diego, there's a lot of other options as well if like you are going to be in the area. When I went to Oceanside earlier last month, we found out that they do a 7-day pass for Balboa Park. That includes you can go to every museum except for the Comic-Con Museum, almost all the museums at least once within the 7 days for a certain flat fee, which I want to say was like, it wasn't that much money. It was like when you compare to it being $20-something per an admission, it's not even close to that. I think it's like the cost of like 2 or 3. So there's other things like that you can check out. And sometimes they offer different things to people who are in area for Comic-Con. So like even like San Diego Zoo, SeaWorld, all those places, there's all places you can also visit if you wanted to do something else in addition to Comic-Con. And they have all sorts of promotions and deals going on in San Diego throughout the time, because this is a huge time for them to get tourism. So
And Becca, I just want she mentioned Rings of Power. Rings of Power, it will be in production during Comic-Con. So I would love has there been a big Rings of Power panel before? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so it would be great if they came. Maybe the OneRing.net will partner with them to get that there. But that is Prime. That's Amazon Prime, who have been very supportive of the con these past few years. Doctor Who, not sure. They haven't
had a presence in a while.
Yeah, the boys are finishing up their final season, so if they came, this would be a victory lap for them. Wait. She did say. Becca said last year the Rings of Power. It was in Long Beach. Oh, good to know. But they are finishing. They're in production now. Rebecca, is it Rebecca? So hopefully.
Yeah, like the boys, I don't think they've ever actually had a panel. I know they had that huge.
I think they did.
When it
way
first
back
came
in the
out.
beginning.
Yeah, they had the huge promo all over Comic-Con for their offsite the first year that they came out. But they are gearing up for their final season, which is basically going to be a Supernatural reunion.
Carrie! Woo-hoo! Let's go. Carrie, wait. Carrie, in case you haven't seen it, wait. I'm going to show the picture. Carrie, you're our cover. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? You're the cover girl tonight. Look at this. Remember that? That was so much fun. All right.
Boys was there last year too. Thanks, Becca. I actually missed Comic-Con last year, so I don't remember what was there. So, but I do love the boys. And like I said, as a Supernatural fan, this season's going to be great because we have a little mini reunion for a bunch of the boys cast members.
Yeah, there is a little bit of talk that perhaps Selfie Queen got that pig. But there is talk that perhaps Gen V might be there. Yeah. We'll see as a spinoff of the boys. All right. We do have to close the show because we can't go on forever. We got 13 people watching right now. I'm so excited. Let's just stay on all night. All right, guys. Anyways, Cheese, let's go. We'll start with Mark, Katie, and then Cheese. We'll let you finish out of Cheese and then me. Okay. Mark, where can people find you online and any closing thoughts?
They can find me online at the Mark Atkinson on Instagram. Closing thoughts are 50 days, 22 hours, and 51 minutes. The con is on.
What can you sing that?
Wait. Hello from Uruguay. We are glad Uruguay is watching. We're international now.
Oh wow.
Stereo virtual. I haven't seen you on before. So glad you joined us tonight.
Yeah.
Katie.
I am Katie, aka KT_Christine, for those of you who are listening. You can also find me. I try to help with the socials for the Con Guy and the Con Girls. Con Girls has been a little bit inactive, but we are trying to do a little bit of a figuring out.
K-pop.
So you guys can follow me across all social media at KT_Christine on Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram. I'm also recently, I'm going to do a little bit of more of a plug. I also recently opened my Etsy store. It's mostly the whole bottom part, mostly jewelry, which is K-pop inspired, and upcycled shorts that are also K-pop inspired. It's a passion project of mine. I'm trying to do more sustainable fashion and recycle clothing for second life. So you guys can check that out. The link is in my Instagram, but I have some stuff up there as well. I am on Twitch, but I have not been active. But my Twitch is the same exact as @KatieChristine, but I'm also trying to work on a rebrand of that and hopefully go live again. So if you guys like video game content, I like watching people who play action adventure games when I get back to it. I usually stream action adventure games or RPG type games. Yeah, just all around nerd. If you follow me on Twitter and you follow me on Threads, you are going to get 98% K-pop content. So
that's why she's going to do some shows. Okay, by the way, Katie, give a little plug. You were also a special guest on a Marvel show this week.
Oh, yes. I recently was on my buddy Christian's oh, sorry guys. My
Marvel movie news.
Brain, yeah. Marvel movie news. So one of my former co-hosts for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast over at AfterBuzz TV, I was just guest on his show we talked about the Thunderbolts movie and just kind of the upcoming future Marvel projects about that. So you guys can check that out on YouTube. I believe there's a link to it on my Instagram. If not, I will try to tweet that out. But I do know I tweeted about it when it happened. So that aired last week.
On the website too. We'll post it on the Con Guy website so people can find it.
Yeah.
Cheeseman.
Well, this is Cheeseman here. You can find me on Instagram and X at CheeseOnCouch and theconguy.com and at ComicCon. Hope to see you there.
See you there. And we will be posting and broadcasting from Martha's Vineyard very soon. It's going to be exciting.
Jaws 50.
That's right. All right. And you can find me on Instagram at James D. Fry, on X/Twitter, Jim Fry LA. And we will be having all the information you need to enjoy San Diego Comic-Con in the weeks ahead. We have a lot of fun stuff. We are in summer season, con season. This is our favorite time of the year. So thank you guys for showing up. Please continue to follow us here. We promise to make it always. We may not always have the most. What am I going to say? It's always going to be fun. We might not have the most up to date, but we will have fun telling you everything that we know. It's going to be a great time. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. And again, this is the Con Guy bringing you all the news of Comic-Con's fandom and pop culture from the smack dab in the middle of Hollywood, California. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching The Con Guy, the official program of theconguy.com. Find us on the Weeby Geeks Collective or anywhere you listen to podcasts.